so true. Bringing you politics and history too. Dive into stories that shape our view. BX has got the facts for you. BX the storyteller, bringing the spark. No one does it better. BX, you've heard the rest, but she's the best. Yeah, she's the best. Oh. From ancient tales to modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams. With every word.
Peace delineationist. Hey, Melrose.
Check. Am I coming through loud and clear?
Yes, microphone check 1 2. What is this? BS coming through with the funky business. You know, I got to say 1 2 for you. Hey. And then you go on teacup after I just spit whatever that. How many bars was that?
That was a light 2.
Okay. Did you like it at least? I'm trying to get my flow back.
Fire. You already know how it's the home of hip hop, BX. So, you know, it's just original to us. What's up, though? How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
Nice. Thank you for having me once again.
You're welcome. I don't really have any questions prepared, but I see that you are making a buzz for your speech at the New York reparations hearing. And so I have your speech fired up. It is from another creator, so I'm going to shout the creator out. It's Mike _Larry Brooklyn. And people think you are from Brooklyn because of the fire that you stated at that hearing. Are you from Brooklyn? Let's set the record straight.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, no ma'am, I'm from the Bronx, but I also spent time a few years living in North Carolina growing up.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm born and raised in the Bronx. And you know how that uptown connection go between the Bronx and Harlem. So that's where I'm from, uptown.
Right. And I think people are under the misconception that, I consider Bronx and Brooklyn like siblings, right? Siblings that fight. I remember long train rides with my uncles to Brooklyn because my stepmother's family is from Brooklyn. She's my mom. She raised me, but for the sake of conversation, because I do understand and acknowledge that my biological mother is deceased. So my step family is from Brooklyn, and they love the hell out of me. So you can't tell them I'm their step anything. But the Bronx and Brooklyn have always been interconnected. And so I even lived in Brooklyn, but so I don't mind sometimes, but sometimes we got to put a little respect on the Bronx name because Bronx has become what Brooklyn used to be. When people be like, don't go to Brooklyn, don't go to this part of Brooklyn, they crazy. Now, today they say that about the Bronx. But I'm going to go ahead and fire up this creator's live. Well, it's not a live clip.
Listen to this.
All right, so good evening, everybody. If everybody, including the commissioners, could do me a favor, if you, your parents, and or your grandparents immigrated from somewhere, please raise your hand.
For educational purposes only.
Listen up.
Anyone on the commission, ma'am, raise your hand, please. Immigrated. Came from somewhere else.
Right.
No, ma'am, don't project that onto me. Pardon me. Quiet, please. You're taking up my time. Pardon me.
Talk your shit, King.
So, ma'am, raise your hand, please. All right, so we have one lady that's part of the commission that for some reason is ashamed of her heritage. And that's, ma'am, reparations isn't a remedy for racism. Reparations is a debt that's owed from slavery. Reparations is more than a check. But the very first thing it is a check. Okay. And that goes to the living descendant survivors of slavery here in what we now call the United States of America. I need you commissioners to have the same energy for us, for our lineage, that you have for these illegals that come over here with $0 in their pocket, no shoes on their feet, and then within 24 hours, they got Jordans, the newest cell phone with the watch to match. So I need you to have the same energy for us, because you don't have them doing a million studies and commissions all over the city and state. You don't have studies and commission all over the city and state when it's time to give millions, billions, and trillions to Israel. Netanyahu, he's setting up drones. My man right here, he got a drone. But Netanyahu, he has guns and bombs on the drones, and they're killing people out there. Y'all don't have studies and commissions when it comes to send money to Netanyahu. Y'all don't have studies and commissions when it comes to send money to Ukraine and all this other stuff. So stop playing with our money. Get us our money. And if the language isn't right,
listen to it.
Everyone get one of these papers. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to fill out the QR codes, and it'll help disaggregate the information and the language and get everything right. And Kathy Hochul, I know you're listening. If you don't give me my money, I'm gonna land right there. Thank you.
So what was the energy of the room like before you started to speak? Did you notice who was of immigrant background and who wasn't? Because sometimes it's not hard to tell.
My fault. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Melrose.
All right. Before I spoke with a few people who did come from immigrant backgrounds, and as you can see, when they panned out and showed the whole room, that was hilarious. I didn't even know they were going to be doing that. But yeah, a lot of those people who I spoke to, the few people I spoke to, they didn't raise their hand. And there actually was, after I left and people were leaving out, I started to hear different accents. So a lot of people didn't raise their hand. But when I asked, there was like a few people in the audience, as you can see, that raised their hand. And 2 of the commissioners, they kind of started to raise their hand. I later found out that one of them, she's like, I think full Jamaican, if I'm not mistaken. I forget her name, but it was the lady that had the mask on all the way at the left. Her energy was crazy. That was my first time ever being in the building for that specific commission with those commissioner members and stuff like that. That was my first time ever being in the building. Her energy was crazy. I can't recall her name at the moment. But from what I understand, people was like, yo, she's Jamaican. She should have raised her hand. The person who did raise their hand, I'm not sure. From what I've come to understand, I think it's confirmed that her pops is FBA, like her father's FBA. But I'm not sure about her mom's background or whatever the case may be. But she was raising her hand when I said that. That's why I said, ma'am, raise your hand, because she was, she was posturing as if she was raising her hand. And then she said, well, it depends on what your definition of immigrated means. And I said, came from somewhere else. And then she was like, still unsure, hesitating to raise her hand. And that's when you hear, that part of the clip. And then she said, well, everybody immigrated from somewhere. That's when I said, ma'am, don't project that onto me. And then that's when I said, after that, I said, well, we have one lady, part of the commission, who's, for whatever reason, ashamed of her heritage. And that's when, people in the crowd, oh, man, he shouldn't be saying this. And if you also heard, there was a part where somebody in the audience, they yelled out, there's nothing wrong with being an immigrant. And I never said there was. I was just doing that to show people, like, hey, there's a clear conflict of interest And Mike Larry, shouts to Mike Larry from All Viral Access Media. I'll be on his platform this Wednesday at 8 p.m. with our sister Brooke, and we'll be giving a recap as well from the meeting. But yeah, a lot of people, what I've been seeing in his comments from that video is that they understood that one of the priorities, one of my goals that clearly came across was that, hey, there's a conflict of interest of people from outside of the lineage or with dual allegiances calling themselves being our spokespersons or representatives or speaking on behalf of our interests. Peace. So yeah, that's what the energy was in there. There were a bunch of tethers trying to, be low key, but we knew that they were in there. So yeah, that was the energy.
Now, the full Caribbean one, is there a way to get her off the commission?
Well, we have to continue to create the narrative, and with what was done, what I did, and just all of us, continuing to say, we have to make it clear. We just have to use our voice to say what we want. Hey, we don't want any outsiders or even anybody with a dual allegiance, to be honest. Because if you have a like mixed by ethnic situation going on, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. You still qualify for reparations if you're on paperwork identifying as black. But then also you have to have a track record. By ethnics, they have to have a sturdy, lengthy track record. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like they have to have a track record, and we have to. But at this point, though, if they don't have a track record, yeah, we just gonna have to say, hey, we don't need and we don't want anybody from outside the lineage on these commissions and these boards calling themselves representing and speaking and making decisions on our behalf. So that's what we're gonna have to do moving forward with everybody in every situation. And if they are on a commission or whatever, we're gonna have to let them know, hey, if this don't go the way we want it to go, we on your bumper. We putting you in the history books as the op that crashed this joint out, that sabotaged this joint. You feel me? So that's how that's gonna have to go. And we're gonna have to just let people know.
Correct. I don't blame you. I don't blame anybody who feels that way because as we can see, they monopolize the government. Are you outside in BBS
Yeah. I'm outside. You know how it is in New York.
Yeah. So I won't keep you long, but I do want to ask you, I see that you got your TikTok page up. Will you be hosting your own live?
Probably not. I'm seeing it's saying that in order to get more features, I have to go live for 30 minutes, 30 more times or some shit, pardon me, or something like that. So I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be really dedicated to that.
Well, you can. I could give you a piece of advice. Some will run their live for 30 minutes playing just music. Just clean music.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's the trick. I can do that because I DJ too, so that's why I'm not always available on certain nights, especially on the weekends. So I can play some music. That's what people were telling me anyway. That's one of the reasons they was like, hey man, you need to come on here and DJ. So clean music, DJ 30 minutes music. I'm gonna definitely take that advice. But I think I got a second strike. I know I got one strike, and then another one of my posts, they took it down already. So I didn't really look to see if it's an actual strike, but I know they took the post down. So I'm not gonna be on here too heavy. But like my thing is, I'm outside, you feel me? And I hope that's one of the things that motivated and inspired and empowered people to come outside and, get down for their crown and just speak what's on their mind. So I may not be up on TikTok too much like that, but if somebody invites me or if I have something that I feel is clean enough to post on here, I'll go ahead and post it.
So I had the pleasure of meeting you at the African American Day Parade Board Community Feedback Meeting. And there
it was my pleasure too.
Yes. So you made a very good point. We can go into a Black American establishment and see that Black Americans will hire everybody. But if we go into those other ethnic demographics, they're not hiring Black Americans. Correct?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We see it every day. I go into these, FBA. Oh, and then, speaking of, I went to one of, a spot that I've been promoting for years. I have multiple videos of me in there, asking, hey, where y'all from? Doing lineage checks. But yeah, one of my favorite places that I even put up in the Black Business directory, it closed down on 125th Street. It's a place called it was a place called Nadia's, FBA owned. The folks, they was like from South Carolina, and delicious food, great service, clean, awesome vibe, friendly people, but they just didn't have the motion. And right next to them, there's other businesses where there's a place called the Taste of Seafood where I'm not sure. I think it's Asian owned, but it's like ain't really no FBAs working in there. Like it's just Asian.
Because I ordered from them. I thought they were Black owned. They got one in the farm.
Oh, no ma'am. I think they're a spinoff from I don't want to be incorrect. Say they're a spinoff from One Fish, Two Fish, or not One Fish, Two Fish. The other Lighthouse Seafood. So I'm not too sure how that goes, but yeah, Taste of Seafood. It's Asian owned more than likely, with just Asians and Africans working in there. You go to the Chinese store, it's always going to be other Chinese in there. And if there is, somebody else, it's going to be an African at best. It's never going to be us. So yeah, I brought that up at the African American Day parade, the post parade meeting, and they really wasn't trying to hear none of that. They're stuck in their ways with their Pan-African, ideology and mindset. So there's not much I can do about that. That's why, my next best thing to do, because a lot of people suggested, all right, well, hey, we can still get a float and we can march and we can do this. And yeah, we can absolutely do that. But my next best thing is I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to create, FBA Day, NYC FBA Day. And we just going to have a day where people get together for about 8 to 10 hours and we just showcase and celebrate our culture and just do it like that. Because when we rely on these legacy organizations, they're just going to, continue to do what they do till they get burnt out and they don't got no more emotion like the Essence Fest.
That's true. So I just want to touch real fast because I know you outside. What do you think about the disrespect of the Caribbean, saying that we were complaining when the hurricane touched down? However, it come to find out the lady wasn't even Black American.
I've been seeing that discourse back and forth. Mm-hmm. I've been listening to some of Tariq Nasheed's playbacks on YouTube from the spaces he's done here up on TikTok and also Twitter. And that's just the regular tether complaining that they always do. They're always looking for a reason to attack us. So they'll just look for anything that's happening. And if they're attached to it, they'll say, oh, look, this is how you FBAs are acting and this is how you feel. Don't come back and all of that. So it's just a bunch of bad faith proxy hating. They're just using the hurricane to hate on us. They've been hating on us. They've been wanting to hate on us. And of course, and not, the cool Jamaicans and not the cool Caribbeans, because, being born in a place like New York City, you grew up around a lot of these people and you do know the tethers. You learn the tethers, but you also learn just the regular cool people. You feel me? Who, at the end of the day, no matter how cool and loving and honest they are, they just couldn't get it popping back at the crib. So they had to come over here. But they're cool people. So I don't want to put it onto them. But see, then here's the thing, though. This is the thing, not just with this hurricane situation, but with the with the situation in general. The cool non-FBAs, the ones that aren't tethers, they're cool, but they don't say nothing to their tethers. They don't check their tethers. They don't come and tell us like, hey, we condemn their actions. We condemn their sentiments. Ain't nobody from the Nigerian community come out and say, oh, hey, we condemn Uncle Toby's, self-hatred and anti-FBA hatred, especially his anti-FBA woman hatred. He was spewing a bunch of, crazy stuff. Maxo Cream, ain't nobody from the Nigerian community come out and, take accountability for that and condemn him. So, yeah, with these situations, with this hurricane situation, it's just a typical proxy situation where they're just looking for the opportunity to say what they've been wanting to say, no matter how true it is or isn't, which none of this stuff they're saying is true, because I've been seeing videos of foundational Black Americans out there, helping clean up. I'm hearing that a lot of people, they were stuck at resorts or something, so they came out and they was like, hey, yeah, I'm here, I paid to be here or whatever, but give me a broom, give me some, garbage bags, I'll help clean up. So yeah, we out there doing what we've been doing, what we always do. So I don't take it too serious. And there was something else you sent me recently. The lady, she was like talking about intersectionality and stuff. And can you elaborate on that real quick so I could, tell you my position on that as well?
So, and for TikTok purposes, I might have to code some of my language.
Okay.
So we were speaking on Afro-Leaf Live, and we weren't even talking about anything that I felt was warranted bringing up the GAY community. And then a young man says, well, you think that's bad? Try being Black and, that lifestyle, living in, I forgot where he was living. And we were just like, huh? So it kind of escalated into a conversation about intersectionality, and I was trying to, him and Afro-Elite went back and forth, the co-host and him, and then I said, listen, because he seems to, me and him had a liking, like he'll come on the app, and when we talking straight talk, no pun intended, about the issues, he's in alignment with me, right? He can even take up for me at times. And I just felt like, when I advocate for Black Americans, I don't do the whole I'm Black and woman, I'm Black and GAY, I'm Black and Christian. I feel that when we're advocating for reparations, we just need to move forward one band, one sound. We can worry about the rest later if we have to. Matter of fact, you're part of one of the most powerful communities there are. So the white aspect of that community has all the power, and they don't advocate for y'all. Why are y'all bothering us? And so he didn't like the response and it took on a 3-day, it was like a 3-day event, and then somebody else jumped into the fray. She was in the chat watching everything, and then she said she has a PhD, and she came and made her own video. And I was like, I wasn't sure that I was understanding her, because she mentioned reparations, she mentioned going racial, and she mentioned all these things. I said, well, she can't be tapped in. Let me tag in Ishmael and Brother Simon, who on Twitter is known as Brother Theory. I said, well, let me send this to some more FBAs to see if I'm missing what she's saying. And she's saying we got to separate reparations, and they may get more because they are of that lifestyle. And everybody was in agreement and alignment that the only thing we need to know is that we're Black Americans and we descend from U.S. chattel slavery. We're not doing all that other stuff. But some people are entering the conversation later, and I feel like a monkey wrench is trying to get thrown into the delineation movement. And now they're trying to attach the, that community's issues onto it instead of moving forward as one sound. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't bugging.
Nah, you're not bugging. And whenever you have those moments where you like, nah, I know I'm not bugging, let me hit the family up, let me see what they think, do that. You don't second guess to hit somebody up to get a second opinion, but more than likely you're right. And I know you said you're new to really getting involved and coming outside like this, but yeah, that lady, we've seen her a billion times. People be catching little cases, and they be like you said, I don't know if she's tapped in. Yo, let me tell you something. You're new. You're new to all of this, correct?
Correct.
Yo, but you don't know that everybody knows us, and they know you, because everybody, we all have the same internet. You feel me? And that lady and all of these people that make you think, nah, no, I'm not bugging. They know, most of them, 95% of them, they don't believe the stuff that they're saying. They're either being paid to say it, they're auditioning to get paid to say it, or they done caught like a little case. So now they gotta, go repeat a bunch of agent talking points, no matter how much it's been debunked already. And they gotta go on everybody's live. Oh snap, Afro's live. I gotta go read the talking points. Oh snap, Tariq is live. I gotta go read the talking points. Oh snap, BX is live. I gotta go read the talking points. Oh snap, they're having a reparations meeting in New York. Hey, agent handler, book me a flight to New York. Well, they send them on different assignments to go to these places and pop up and start talking about how we're Afro descendants of such and such Silas Muhammad and all this babble. You feel me? So whenever you think like, yo, am I bugging? No, you're not bugging. This person is either a compromised op agent, a tether, somebody getting paid to lie, or they're auditioning to get paid to lie. But besides that, everybody knows us, and they know BX too. They like, oh man, there's this new character unlocked over there in the grassroots, and she's kicking behind, she's kicking butt. Yeah, they know.
On Leo's live, and I'm like, dang. But what I dislike Melrose is she started, or after I finished speaking, she started off with, well, New York is different. It's like New York is its own place. And I was like, whoa, don't do that.
Who said that?
Because, some new girl. And I'm wondering if she was a tether, because I went and I gave the whole...
Oh, not the same lady, right?
No. This was a new lady, and haven't seen her before. And my whole issue is this. We did have 10 a day commercials about the Africans, but by a certain age, because of our hip hop artists, we paid homage. We understood that our government was full of ish, and we really championed the diaspora. We fight harder for Egypt than an African does, and we know Egypt is in Africa, right? Even those like me who Egypt doesn't really resonate with, I won't walk around with an unk on, but I'm going to tell a white tea person King Tut wasn't white tea. And so you cannot tell me that the Africans who are saying that African booty scratcher was so traumatizing, or that people are telling them to stay away from us, that they should be 40 and 50-year-olds still keeping up that I was told to stay away from you. Is that why y'all in our government voting no to reparations? Like, when do they grow up? And then she went to talking about, well, New York is just different and this and that. So I wowed out and told her, don't do no shit like that, because some of us have ties to the South. Some of us spent summers in the South. Like, I'm tired of hearing New York lost the culture. I'm tired of hearing New York is X, Y, Z. No, the hell we're not. You're speaking to the tethers. You're not speaking to those with roots to the South. Some of us even lived there. I just moved from the South in 2017. What is we talking about here? New York is not different. And then she's like, I want to move to New York. I was like, ding, 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 tether alert. And then people's like, BX misunderstood. Some man was like, oh, why you disrespecting her like that? I was like, because I effing can't. Stop this, trying to separate us from the rest of the culture. It's so annoying.
Yeah, tethers tend to do that. And speaking of tethers, one thing that people didn't see, because normally, my whole thing is, y'all, these meetings and all this is a waste of time. But it's good that, those of us that are dedicated, that can make it out there, especially, people like Sister Brooke, Brother Divine, and the rest of the U.S. Freedmen Project here in New York. They're really at the forefront of all this grassroots stuff. Like, they're really the pioneers and the leaders of this one. But it's a good thing, even though we know that they're wasting our time, they're lying, they're talking to us like we're dumb, it's a good thing that we are going to these joints and getting everything on record. It's a good thing that we're getting things on record. But like I said, usually when I attend these type of things, I go to these things in good faith. I don't go to be a disruptor. I don't go to, let me look for a moment to go viral and Because a lot of times when I do go viral, it's not me recording, it's just me doing me, and there's other cameras somewhere recording me. But yeah, when I go to these events and whoever's talking and they just talking some BS and they talking to us like we're you know, ignorant children and stuff, I usually interrupt and at some point get kicked out. You know, so I never really make it that far into these things anyway to speak. Right. But for this one, I was real calm. I didn't have any outbursts. But Jumaane Williams, are you familiar with him?
Well, I heard the name. I thought he was bi-ethnic, but when he spoke, he identified as a Grenadian, I think. He didn't say he had a foundational parent.
No FBA. He was up there talking crazy. He's just like some sort of public advocate. But he's like, you know, controlled opposition, dark money type guy and all that. But he was up there talking crazy. Yeah, the descendants of slaves. Well, he said descendants of slaves and foundational Black Americans verbatim out of his mouth. They're not calling us African Americans no more.
Okay.
You feel me? He's a Democrat. He's big up there in the New York Democratic Party. He's a main figure. So he's out there calling us foundational Black Americans. They just know better because I probably would have erupted if he would have said African Americans. But even he was like, yo, foundational Black Americans. But he was like, yo, foundational Black Americans, they deserve it first. They deserve the biggest portion. And we don't know who's qualified because how are they going to trace the lineage? I'm Grenadian. And he's just saying stuff like that. So I didn't interrupt him. Double speak. That's exactly what I told him too. Yo, you double talking. Or fork tongue, split tongue, or something like that I said. But I didn't interrupt. He sat down, other people went, and then eventually he grabbed his little bag, his 2 security guards and like his assistant or whoever, and I saw them preparing to leave. So I got up, I walked out, I waited for him outside, and then I eventually, you know, said, hey, everything you just said up there, you know, that part was good. This part, it's not good. You could be going to hell because you're lying in the church and you're not qualified for reparations. So he was like, hey, man, no. And he tried to just babble. And I'm like, no, that doesn't work here. I said, look, if you're going to be speaking on this, you shouldn't be. But if you are, you better be only prioritizing and speaking about lineage for this foundational Black Americans. And then he was trying to, you know, explain himself out of it. But then eventually I just walked away. I said, pardon my back, went back inside. Are you familiar with Jabari Brisport?
I'm not familiar with nobody besides Yvette Clark.
Jabari Brisport, he's not a public, he's not the same thing as Jumaane Williams. He's like an elected politician of some sort. But he's up there in the New York Democratic joint. And he was talking like he had some sense as well. He didn't refer to us as foundational Black Americans. He referred to us as descendants of slaves. And I was like, all right, that's cool. But he everything he said publicly that was on camera and on record for that day, it made sense. It was good. But I was like, I still got to check him outside. So I did the same thing. I waited for him to, you know, eventually leave. And when he left, you know, I spoke to him outside. And when I spoke to him outside, I said, yo, everything you said on stage, it was good. Hey, let me hear you say it again. And he said everything he said because basically the main thing he said, he was quick. Jumaane Williams, he was up there for like 15 minutes, maybe, you know, 10, 15 minutes. But Jabari Brisport, he was real quick. But he basically said, the Jews got reparations, the Japanese got reparations. How come the descendants of slaves are the only ones that didn't get reparations? They should get reparations. And he really didn't define what it was. You feel me? That was his like little out. But he was like, yeah, they should get reparations. See you guys later. And when I told him to say the same thing, he said the same thing. But then he said, outside, he said, and Caribbeans. I said, oh, whoa, what's up with that? That's where we not doing that. And he was like, oh, we're not? And I'm like, all right. Like he's playing naive. And I'm still just remaining serious because I know you're not dumb, sir. I know you're not dumb. So, I don't even know if I can say that. I'm sorry. But I know you're not ignorant to, you know, what's going on. So, I was basically like, yo, you're going to be speaking on this. And he came out quick and was like, oh, I'm something Caribbean or something. You feel me? He's not FBA. But he was like, and he wasn't hostile, he wasn't defensive, he wasn't combative, he was real open to everything I was saying. But I'm like, man, he might be off the narcotic too. Like, he's just like a little too happy. But he was talking like he had sense, but I still pressed him. And then there was two other gentlemen who I don't think were FBA.
Melrose got a call or something, guys. It's an intermission.
Oh man, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, what's the last thing you heard?
That he was talking cool or whatever, but you still had to press him. But I'm gonna interject this. When he said
Go ahead.
descendants of slaves, that included the Caribbeans. He didn't say U.S. descendants of slaves or, anything to indicate us. Because you know what the Caribbeans are running around doing. They're talking about their descendants of slaves too. And some of them argue they're still American because they're on the continent. So when he left the blanket
Poor
statement like
babies.
that, yeah. I think that's why he didn't want the uproar there, but it still left the descendants of slaves still left the interpretation to include Caribbeans if they wanted to.
Yeah, and I might have to go back and double check what he said, but at the time I was just like, hey, I gotta keep my composure. I can't have these outbursts because I'm going viral and I'm receiving a lot of attention for my submission, but I gotta remember there's people like Brooke and Brother Divine and Paris and even like some other chick I don't even know. I don't know who, if anybody knew her, but she was spitting. She had like a blue shirt on, some glasses. She was cooking, So I was like, hey, I want to show them. No, Paris got glasses, but this other girl I'm talking about, she I forget her name, but she definitely cooked. So I was like, hey, I don't want to be the one to have an outburst because I really don't like, as an adult, these people talking to us like as if we're Democrats. Like, you feel me? The Democrats, they can just come out and say anything and get people emotionally invested, get people riled up or whatever. And I'm like, nah, this ain't that crowd, or at least I'm not that person. If you're gonna talk, let's talk like you got some sense, and let's talk business, let's talk money. And business and money, it don't take 100 meetings all over the city and state for 3 and 4 years.
Correct. And Sister Keisha's here, and she said that woman was Ados.
The one with the blue shirt?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, and speaking of getting attention and going viral, Yvette Carnell, somebody sent me her response to my submission up at the joint, and a lot of people from ADOS, what I'm guessing is that they see me and other, people, shouts to carry it, he reps Secure the Tribe, Brooke, Brother Divine, Paris, Snuggie. They see our joints going viral and furthering the conversation. And I'm not sure who the dude from ADOS was that was there. I think like only maybe 1 or 2 of their representatives spoke. But I guess like the dude, his joint don't really got motion like that. So Yvette Carnell and this other fellow that, I guess they do a bunch of ADOS work. Yeah, they're up on Twitter mad at me and mad at us for, Yeah, people have been sent. But and like I said, I'm guessing it's because our clips and our submissions are going viral, and whoever the people were from ADOS, that one girl who Keisha's saying, is Ados. I'm not sure if she is or she isn't, but she still cooks. So I gotta, give credit where it's due. But I think it was like a dude that was there, because the dude, I'm not gonna, put his name there, but the dude from Ados, who's not from New York, who wasn't even there, he's from like a whole nother state. He was like, yo, this is not how it's done, this and that. And just crying and complaining. But I'm like, yo, it shouldn't have to be like that. You feel me? And then Yvette Clark, Cornell, she was, crying like, hey, y'all gotta sign up for ados.com, become a member so that we can train you on how not to be like these Negroes. It was that type of thing. But that's childish. Like, because if folks, like I said, I'm cool if folks have like a playful understanding with each other and they want to do some fake online banging. I know that's like the kind of thing, and people got troll spirits a little bit, so they want to get that off. But when people actually start taking it serious to the point of where they're wherever they are in the world on their phone getting angry and upset, like, and I'm like, oh man, shit. Pardon me. I'm like, oh man, I can't take none of that serious. Like, and to see the response coming from, people from ADOS, it's like, hey man, y'all already don't got a cool reputation. And for y'all to be the ones reacting like this, just because they're saying, I don't know, like, how was I supposed to go in there and speak? Like, first of all, this is me. Like, this is how I speak. This is how I am. Like,
I think ADOS is the bougie of the lineage.
The what?
The bougie.
The
Bougie Gilberts and shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of ego that comes into a lot of this stuff. A lot of ego, a lot of immaturity, a lot of lack of conflict resolution, and I ain't gonna lie, stuff gets to me.
Yeah.
But it's not messing up nothing in real life though. Like, I can be upset or feel some type of way about something for a few seconds, maybe a minute or two, but never to the point where, especially we're from New York, so we're the snapping and the roasting kings, and I be seeing people get out their body when people be arguing with them and stuff. Like, yo, we supposed to remain cool, calm, and collected. Like, we gotta rep not just with a lineage, not just for adults, because children are listening. We will always want spaces and stuff to be constructive. But, us from New York, we can't be getting out of our bodies. We can't be, letting people's corny jokes or whatever, or them getting upset at us being mad for whatever reason. Because a lot of these online issues, they don't be about nothing, especially when we're all supposed to be doing the same work. A lot of this online stuff, it don't be about nothing. And it's like, yo, a lot of this stuff, it don't even need to be, a lot of these issues, they stem from nothing. They're rooted in nothing. Like, I'm quick to tell somebody, once I see that me and this person, we can't come to an understanding or something, I'll just be like, yo, you got it. Even if, I know that they're completely wrong or whatever the case, I'm like, yo, you got it. On to the next thing. Or I'll leave the space. I'll leave whatever. But, some people, they weren't feeling me. The suspected YT supremacists, they weren't feeling me. Of course, the tethers, they're tether babbling, crashing out, trying to cope. They weren't feeling it. But some of the ADOS people, y'all got to stop that, all right? Just because your folks don't got motion, they went up there. I think I know who the ADOS guy is. And was he the guy? Were you listening? Was he the guy talking about milk? Was that the ADOS guy? I think that's the guy that was talking about, black kids are lactose intolerant. Somebody was up there talking like that. I'm like, hey, where's he going? But yeah, that's the shouts to ADOS word. But shouts to everybody who's supposedly standing on lineage business and paperwork and just, doing whatever they do. But with me, like I said, I know you said, the main thing is that I'm going viral and you just want to speak on my perspective of what was going on in there and the aftermath. The aftermath, from what I'm seeing and I understand, and we want to keep the momentum going from that, is that, Brooke, she has, along with the U.S. Freedmen Project, they have a call to action and an initiative to get emails sent out, to have, they have pre-prompted letters addressing and with the subject already addressed and everything. And the letters are basically to get data disaggregation and then also to form a Freedmen's Bureau, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what the 3 letters are. It's real quick to, tap the links and fill out. So for everybody listening, just hit me in the DM, say links. I'll send you the prompt over. You can read over the thing on what it's for and what you're sending out. And then all you gotta do is enter your name, phone number, email address, and a zip code. And then you send out the first one. And then when you click the link to the second and the third one, most of the information will already be there. So all you gotta fill out after that is maybe just your email and phone number. And then boom, boom, it takes less than 3 minutes. So that's the goal. We want to keep going into the next one. We want to keep this momentum, getting these emails out and just getting people involved and aware.
Well, I just commented the links in the chat. I have been asking creators if I go to their live, well, some of them, because the other ones, I don't know, they kind of funny style. But for the most part, the ones that I mod for are allowing me to drop the links in the chat. Afro Elite is supposed to have on Brooke and Brother Divine, and they'll be able to reach a larger target on TikTok because he has a bigger platform than I do.
Oh, that's going to be lit. Is that going to be this week?
I'm not sure. I would have to wait for him to let us know. Also to the chat, Brooke's skincare line is in there.
Oh yes, evenmelanin.com.
Yeah, support.
Yo, what up, man?
A true foundational Black American business, please. Also, if you like urban fiction, I'll drop my link too, because I need to, I want to get what I want to get. Don't matter what I want to get. Auntie needs a new bag, okay? Auntie needs a new bag.
Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all support that urban fiction word. But yeah, I'm loving this for New York, man, for what the grassroots is doing all around the country, representing all around the world. But yeah, I love that, me, you, Brooke, Divine, DW, Paris, all of us, Daryl, Frisch and Grits, my nigga Mike. Shout out to Snuggie. I think he's from Jersey or something. He popped out. No word, carry it, just everybody, to even to the fact that we got people coming from across the country to come here to represent on that grassroots timing. I'm loving this for New York. They talk the most about New York, but look at us. Look what we doing. Look what we doing. And it's not just
their culture. I'm getting tired of that narrative.
Look at us. Look what we doing. It's not just, things going viral, but, it's on and offline. Like I said, we getting these emails sent for the past 2 years. I didn't go this year, but for the past 2 previous years, I've been out there at the Harlem Day Parade with Divine and the U.S. Freedmen Project, getting hundreds and thousands of signatures. So we out here in New York, we really doing it. We really making things move. And, the thing about New York, they know us. They know us. They're going to get to know you. They know you online now. But like I said, the more you attend these things, they're going to be like, oh man, they got another one. Because all of these politicians, all of these commission members, all of these people, they know when it's like a public meeting or whatever, or wherever they going to be in public, they know it's a chance. Oh my God, is that Brooke? Oh my God, is that Melrose? Oh my God, is that Divine? Oh my God, they hate to see us coming. Because they know wherever it's at, it's up for them. They know wherever it's, especially with me. Because a lot of people, they be like, yo, how you always at all of these places? How you always know where to be? And I tell people what my secret is. But, it's up to them to apply it. My secret is there's this thing. If you go to Google, if you have like a Google email, and you go to your thing, it's this thing called Google Alerts. And what it allows you to do is you can type in like one word.
Wait. I don't know, because if I put this on YouTube, the Tether's going to hear. Oh my God.
No, they can do it because I want them to use it, and I want them to show up. I want them to show up and try to call themselves doing whatever. But yeah, you go to Google Alerts and you can type in like one word, or you can type in multiple words and just different phrases and stuff. And wherever those words and that combination of words or whatever is published online, you will get alerts to your Google account. It'll go to your email and you'll get alerts for that. So different things, reparations NYC, reparations meeting, reparations hearing, NARC, and COBRA. When you put different things on Google Alerts, you get these notifications all day. So you know where everything's going to be happening, you know, in town, out of town, uptown, downtown, wherever the case is. And, you know, if I got time, I'll make myself available to be at these situations. And like I said, whenever one of us show up, they know, oh man, I'm going to be in for a long day. The minute I say anything wrong, this is going to be in the crowd, you know, calling me out. So, you know, I love it. I love New York. I love what we doing. We are the culture. We are the pioneers. And shout out to everybody doing their thing all over the country, you know, because I love what everybody's doing. Everybody's efforts, contributions, and sacrifices, they count and they matter. But, you know, New York, we're going to always definitely represent. And I love what we doing. And I love that, you know, we have platforms like yours. I love that, you know, we could collaborate. You could bring us on. We could inform the people. So thank you again for everything that you're doing, that you got going on, and for sharing your platform and your audience with me.
Do you see Brother Divine has entered the chat? Brooke has confirmed your statement, saying it's up. And Sister Keisha is saying it's up for everybody.
My fault, I wasn't even looking at this thing. I got like a...
It's okay. Melrose is, as you can hear, is in the busy New York streets. I hear car horns blowing, and it's making me cringe because I want him to
now I'm outside on my block now. I live on a block where the marathon rolls through, so they're doing a lot of cleaning up right now. And like I've been telling people for the past 2 years, when you look at these other events throughout New York City, there's porta potties set up all over the place. There's little portable sinks where people can wash their face set up. There's tables where they're handing out packs of peanut butter crackers and cups of hot chocolate and stuff. But when it comes down to the Harlem Day Parade, it's probably one porta potty at best at the beginning of the parade. And then everything else we just gotta fend for ourselves. I'm like, come on, man. We changed the name, we changed the game, and then they're gonna kick me out. So yeah, that's what we up against. It's just building porta potties.
Brother Divine states we standing on lineage business. Correct. So let me say this about what you just said about the lack of resources there for our people during our parade. The African American Day Parade Board stated that they don't want to change the name because it's somewhat political. People know their names as soon as they file for their permit, X, Y, Z, and they was able to obtain something else that they really wanted to do. So if that's truly the case, then that would include the resources. I think that they would have a better chance of, accommodating their people. So is it a lack on their part that they're just not fighting for these things? Like they're just, I don't want to discredit them, but why wouldn't we have adequate porta potties and stuff if their name holds so much power? Not quite. They said they would work with us. No, we're talking about the porta potties, Brooke, compared to the other ones. So I don't know. Not quite. They said they would work with us. Yes, they said they would work with us. So that's true. And they did say that we can either rent a float or walk, with our banners, but they want clean music, which I get. No twerking, clean music. On the name. Oh, they said they would work with us on the name. I gotcha. So, but okay, that's a plus.
Yeah,
That's
and
beautiful.
if they did say that, then what they're really saying is, OMG, we need their help because we don't know what we're doing. I mean, they know what they're doing because everything they were saying in there that they do, like that stuff is not easy. And for everybody to be on one accord to do their best to pull that off for all these years, that's like real. That's real stuff, and that just shows how much we can do when we come together. That parade, regardless to them kicking me out and having a janky name and all that stuff is not easy. But yo, we changed the name, we changed the whole game. Everything becomes easier. Everything starts to flow easier. Like, we can do the most with it. So yeah, shout out to Brooke. If they saying they willing to work with us on the name, that means they want us to come and really just help them save this thing. Hey, the ship is sinking. We need y'all help. Tell your man, welcome back.
Yeah, so Sister Brooke is saying because they're showing a willingness to work with us as far as us having the float, the banner, and them willing to, collaborate on a possible name change that we did that without coming at them too hard. Well, Brooke and Devon, I just attended and filmed and was called out for filming. Do you want to say why you were put out, Brother Melrose?
Yeah, because, when you secondhand offend, the white lady, that's basically what happened. No, I want to know what you saw, because how I saw it was, as soon as I said, who's that white lady, everybody got kind of triggered, and they was just looking for a reason to kick me out. Because did you see before I gave my submission, I asked the commissioner, I said, hey, do you still have my business card from that meeting we had 2 weeks ago? And when he said, did you see that part? Do you recall that part?
I don't recall. I don't want to say I did or didn't.
Yeah, that's what I initially said, because on Twitter, I usually do my spaces on Sunday. And I remember I came in, I was like, hey, y'all, this was the Sunday before the parade. I was like, yo, I bumped into the commissioner, y'all. I saw a dude with the T-shirt on of the parade, and he said he was the commissioner. I told him this and that. And then, like I said, that was the same thing I reminded him of. And then after I said, hey, after I did the whole we changed the name, we changed the game part. Mm-hmm. After that, I said, and number two, which should have been number one, who's that white lady? And when I said that, everybody just kind of, oh, this nigga, he's doing too much. And then next thing you know, they was just like, hey, you got to kind of get out. And one of the dudes, one of the commissioners, pardon me?
I'm saying, hey, the coach.
Yeah, one of the dudes, he was like up in my face, like he was like heated, and I could feel the heat and the anger coming off him. But I'm just cool because one, we're not going to be fighting in here. Two, you said that other lady, that was his wife there. I'm not going to fight a dude in front of his wife, like in this type of setting. Like y'all just mad. Especially not because you're secondhand offended that I just asked a question about this white lady. Because if you remember, everybody who was coming in late, I was the first person there. Like I always be telling people, I was the first person at that meeting. I was the first, well, actually, I wasn't the first person at that meeting, but I was one of the first people there. And I signed in early, and they was telling everybody who came in late, hey, you got to sign in. Hey, you got to sign in. And when she came in, they didn't say you had to sign in. Not only did they tell her she had to sign in, but she went, grabbed a chair, and she sat with the commissioners. So when I felt that was a good faith question. But, I guess they got upset. They kicked me out.
I think because you put them on the spot, it was like everybody, when we all gasped, right? So while the timing was wrong, we were all thinking it.
Yo, pardon me. I gotta cut you off. She was doing the thing y'all women be doing when y'all be like pinching your fingers. Ooh, T, clock that. She was doing that when one of the tethers or the crazy lady that Brooke was going back and forth with, when she was saying something, she was doing all this clock that T stuff. I'm like, who is that? Who is that? So my bad. Go ahead. Who's this?
Okay. So I'm going to say this. Whether it was right, I was about to say white, Freudian slip. Whether it was right or wrong is up to the person who perceives it. I personally was thinking, who is that? You know, I believe that, you know, the low income white tea people who may have grew up in the projects feel very emboldened to do those things, and sometimes they're not checked. And that's what seems like it was happening there. But they're really Karens in disguise, right? Because the other lady who says that it was her grandfather that established it, but she's a little ambiguous looking, she went to crying after you left, and I was like, now they're Karens.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
now
think she had a little
being
Puerto
Karen.
Rican going on. There could have been some Puerto Rican going on with her, and she was like, "Oh man, you niggas about to blow my spot." I think there was a Puerto Rican, and nothing wrong, because from what I never knew that they said that that parade was started to honor Martin Luther King Jr. or started after his assassination, but it was something to do with Martin, and I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. And they're saying if her grandfather was one of the founders, he could have, you know, possibly been like a dark-skinned Puerto Rican or something. But and if that was cool. I ain't gonna necessarily call him a tether, because back then, you know, he had to be amongst us and, you know, on code to whatever degree he may have been, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, for her to get offended like that, because she was one of the main ones, oh, he gotta go. And I said, I said something like, yo, we don't need her. And then she was like, oh, we don't need you. No, what up, bro, my fault. I was like, what did she do? And they was like, oh, you don't know what she's done. She's done a lot. I'm like, man, I don't care what she done. We don't need her. If y'all saying all this money y'all don't have, that means we don't need her. We can do bad without her. We can do bad without the Democrats. We can do bad without the Republicans. We can do bad without Zorhan Mandami or whoever these people are. We can do bad without them.
I didn't vote for Mandami. I'm going to tell you that. And I'm going to also tell you, if y'all didn't notice, Cuomo wasn't on that, or I don't know if y'all voted early. Cuomo wasn't on the ballot, but Eric Adams was.
Oh, I didn't vote, and I don't plan on voting.
No.
I actually did vote for the presidential election. I know I be pushing no check, no vote,
But we
no
don't
check, no
want
vote.
Danny in there. Well, I'm not going to
But-
argue with you back and forth. I just wanted to make that announcement. I'm not going to
Yeah,
argue over who
I might vote. I might vote because
vote, but that
Yeah.
the state and the local, I think, is more important than the president. Really.
when I voted for the president, I wrote mustard on the beat, ho. So I might go do that, you know, this week. Get my little sticker.
Let's just keep Mamdani out of there. We need Mamdani out of there. But I found that a little surprising. And
Nah, they gonna vote him in.
It takes till Tuesday. I voted early. I signed up for early ballot. I'm not going to them schools with them Puerto Ricans and all them other folks, you know, lined up and whatnot. Well, I don't know what my local budget is, Coach. Y'all know I'm just really paying attention to politics. I was a Democrat, vote blue no matter who type of person until 2016. I didn't vote Kamala or Biden. I was rooting for Marianne Williamson, the only one speaking logically about reparations. And she probably had some issues then, because I've learned a lot more about reparations than I knew from the time she was running. But I was really uninterested when Biden was, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. I was like, okay, all right. I ain't voting for you because I ain't black today.
Yeah, yo, Dom, what up, man?
You okay? You talking to somebody, Melrose?
Yeah, you know, folks outside and stuff. And that's all good.
So here's my issue. After the reparations hearings, a video was sent to me of a lady who pops up around the time Tariq Nasheed graced the Afro Elites panel. She acted really starstruck, then went on mute. You couldn't really get a feel for her. The next day, she made a video of how she was so impressed by sitting on the panel with Tariq. And now, all of a sudden, I don't think this was the ADOS lady. Now, all of a sudden, she wants FBA to meet in the Honeycomb hideout, because what she saw at the reparations hearings, we need to talk about. And I'm from New York. You're from New York. We know somebody will line you up quick. So I think that we have to move with discernment when we see people popping up. They have to be around us a little more. I'm not meeting with anybody if it's outside of an event unless I really know y'all. And I find out people
I saw that lady.
with them. You saw her?
Yeah, I'm with it. And Yeah, I'm with it. And no, you're absolutely right. And folks be lining folks up. Know what I'm saying? And she was at I saw one video where she was somewhere and they were talking crazy. I'm like, man, where was that at? But yeah, she's talking about we need to meet at, I'm not sure if that was just like some sort of tic tac slang that be going on. But if she's from New York and, she's, professing to stand on business, all right, yeah, come outside. I'll come meet you. Where you at? Let's go over the city. Let's go on an adventure. I want to come meet you. The rest of you, don't try this at home. Y'all stay at home. I'll come back and tell you how it went. If y'all don't hear back from me in 3 days, send out a wellness check or something.
It's a video of her asking for us to come to a honeycomb hideout because she didn't like, meet at the honeycomb hideout. Sort of like a meet and greet. But you remember when we had the interview, Brother Divine and Dawn? I saw you shout out Sister Dawn, and I was like, I'm so glad you did that because she was saying she's from the Bronx and we should meet. Like, I just need a confirmation this lady is okay before we even start talking that. But I feel like this. If we're meant to work together, meet anywhere, it should be at an event where we're advocating for something and get a feel for each other there. That means you're tapping.
Yeah.
That means you're not just riding a wave. I do understand a lot of things are virtual, but once DW was like, DW and everybody else was like, well, DW was first. When she was like, I know we don't like the name, but it is what it is. Y'all stop complaining and get out there or don't say nothing. Don't complain if you're not there. And I was like, I could go for an hour or so. No. I'm just giving you an example. Like, Dawn was one of the ladies who said we should meet. We're in New York. But because of you, it gave me the stamp like, okay, she official. Now, there's another lady saying we should meet at the Honeycomb Hideout. But ain't nobody told me she's official. She first came.
Who's Dawn? Are you saying that I said Dawn was official?
No. Brother Divine, I'm reading comments.
Oh, okay. Pardon me. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Pardon me. Yeah.
Okay.
This new lady though, I don't know her. I would like to go meet.
Confirmation about the new lady. That's all.
Yeah. No, y'all stay away. These people are crazy. Don't be meeting up with nobody professing nothing. Let me go deal with the crazy people. I'm crazy. I want to go meet them. But yeah. If somebody is professing that whatever. Let them come out on their own the same way we all did. We wasn't sitting around saying, hey, we need to meet up. Like, people were just coming out on their own, meeting other people through all of these time wasting, meetings that they be having. Because they call themselves, wasting our time trying to kick the can down the road. But meanwhile, they don't know that we're meeting other people that have a common interest and we're building these bonds and these relationships. And we're, empowering each other, and we're really, countering, and they're playing to waste our time. It's backfiring on them because we're making it productive, we're making it constructive. So all these new people, okay, if you up on social media, that's cool. But yeah, we'll see what you about when it's time to come out and stand on business. We'll see what you got going on when it's time to get in front of the camera and get in front of the mic, and we'll see how you talking then. So that's really what's going to have to be, because you could pop it big online, but when it's crunch time, let's see how let's see what you're going to stand on. Let's see if you even able to talk it like you walk it online, because a lot of people they just can't really perform in person the way they do online, or they be online lying, so. Because I ain't trying to, and you probably don't even know what this is about, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there's individuals from New York, that be professing to be of the lineage, and then when, they show up to the reparations meeting and they're, positioned behind the camera, they're not expecting somebody to come in and say, can y'all do me a favor in the audience and on the commission? If you, your parents, and or your grandparents immigrated from somewhere, raise your hand. And the person who raised their hand in the sight of the camera, I'm like, hey, this dude, he's suspected of having an immigrant lineage. And for that to be on the camera, a lot of people was kind of talking about that. A lot of people who know They like, if you know, you know. So like I said, when you got people saying, "Hey, come to the Honeycomb Hideout. It's FBA, it's reparations," and then something happens and it catches them off guard, and next thing you know, the person next to them that looks just like them is an immigrant. You like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? And maybe one day somebody will fill you in behind the scenes on what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's kind of something that, if you know, happened. So yeah, y'all watch out for these people. But yo, BX, I love you. I appreciate you. My joint is about to die. I got to get up out of here. But I appreciate you. And like I said, whenever you need me, if I could become available, I'm gonna become available. But yeah, before I go, man, if y'all need any event planning services or DJ services, y'all hit me up at info@melroseradio.com. Go to melroseradio.com, check out the Black Business Directory and the Black Content Creator Guide. If you need any Black businesses throughout the country, you can go check them out. Whatever services, products you need, it's all there.
Thank you. You got a herbalist on there? I need to find a new place to buy my herbs from.
Yeah, I absolutely do. I'm not sure about the ones in New York right now, because I do know herbalists out here and herb shops, but they're not FBA owned and they didn't pay me to get up on the joint, so I didn't put them on there. But there are FBA herbalists and herb shops from different places throughout the country that you can order online. I'm gonna try to go on there tonight or tomorrow to look and send you them.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll
Nah, no doubt.
I don't care if it comes through the mail.
Yeah. Word up. I'll definitely
You going into the matrix, brother. That means your phone is breaking up. All right. I see one bar. Go ahead, Melrose. Love you. Thank you for coming through to the BX Network and getting the word out there. I appreciate you. Hey, Coach. I'm going to disconnect you, Melrose, okay? Go ahead, Coach.
What's happening, family tree?
Hey, what's up, family?
Hey, I'm glad to be above ground. Glad to hear you. I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a city town hall at 7:30
A city
in the
town?
city.
Okay. All right. I'll come peek through because these people on the app is getting on my nerves. All the time to act like New York is so... they try to separate us, saying we lose our culture, and then talk about we are different beasts. And then when I get on their ass, oh, I didn't mean it like that. And maybe I jumped the gun a little bit today. I don't know. But I said I was talking to my people. That didn't include you. So I don't know why you speaking on New York. Period. But anyway, okay, Coach. I'll peek in.
All right, family. I will talk to you soon. Later.
All right. Love you. All right, everybody, let me go get ready for this town hall. I love y'all for real. Don't worry, Auntie just be bugging because we ain't that different than y'all, okay? And we really stomping the yard. And I got to say this. Some things that people say about New York lends to New York FBA erasure. Things like everybody left New York. There's no foundational Black Americans there. New York is different. That disconnects us from our homeland, which is the South. That disconnects us from the family reunions that we travel to, or the summers that we spent in the South with our grannies or our aunties and stuff like that. So let's be mindful that New York FBA is standing on business. We're going through some real things, and some things that really can hurt, right? So don't separate us and tell us we lost our culture when we're actually actively fighting for our culture. And I've been fighting for at least the past 2 years on this app. Sat on panels with other New Yorkers, okay, who had platforms before I started mine, standing on lineage business. And these are younger men, maybe in their 30s, I'm 50, from Harlem, standing on the culture. So, and now I'm tapped in, and I've met members of the United States Freemen, and they're actively going for legislation. So they're in a whole another arena, plus being in the community. Please don't erase their work, or the fact that I get, threatened by the Latinos for telling the truth about hip-hop, but I ain't never scared. I love y'all all. Hey, Dread. I gotta go. I got a meeting. What's going on? I'm over here wilding out on people in Leo's live. I'm trying to catch a breather They keep trying to act like New York is this, well, we are mythical, right? But the whole lineage is mythical. We're mythical, but we're on the front lines, and I'm just tired of hearing certain things. And the person was new. And when she said she wanted to move to New York, I was like, don't, because my alarm said ding, 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 tell her, because she want to come up here and be able to be her free self, allegedly. So I can't be sued. Thank you. Brother Divine tells me, don't take none of it personal, BX. I see Cool Water. I think that's Old Car Lover. I see Dredd, see Brooke. And I see Sister Keisha. I love y'all all for real. Y'all have a blessed night, and I'll catch you later on these apps. One.